I want to show you what I'm doing to the ribbon beading on my dress, just as an extra detail, because if I don't do it, it'll bug me. But I stitched the ribbon on with the sewing machine, and the beads will actually hang over this way, okay? But it's really hard when you're using a presser foot to get close to the edge of these beads. And so what happens if you don't get close, which it's hard to do, is when the beads hang over, you're seeing that much of the ribbon hanging down. And I don't really like that. And so what I'm going back and doing is I'm adding a hand stitch right up close next to the edge of these beads. So that, and I've already stitched back this way, but so you can see when the beads hang over, the ribbon is staying put on the edge, it's staying upward. And if you can see right here on the opposite side, see how it pulls down with the weight of the beads, and this side stays up. So I'm stitching the edge of that ribbon. I'm just doing just kind of like a whip stitch. And so I'm just going under this little edge just to hold it up. And you have to watch your thread, because your thread will catch the beads and the sequins, everything you're doing. But I'm just putting a stitch right there and just tacking that up so that it doesn't, when the beads hang over on the edge of the dress, so that that full ribbon stays up. So I'm just gonna do that all the way down the edge. And I just wanted to show you this detail. I've debated whether or not I should have cut the dress in pieces and sewn the ribbon in. And for this project, the way that I did it and the way that I'm doing it now, it still needed to be done this way because I didn't know how much beading I had, and I don't know if putting a seam here and sewing the beading in between, if that would look weird. I mean, with a darker black dress, I think it would be fine. But for my purposes and not knowing how much beading I was gonna have, this and where it was going to be stitched on the dress, this has actually worked out perfect. So adding that extra hand stitch is not that big of a deal. It doesn't take that long to do. But that's something to consider when you're making a dress like this, if maybe you want to add seams, if the seams would show, or maybe you'll have to go back and do an extra hand stitch on the front of the dress just to keep that ribbon upward.